Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into Dead Air. We're back with StarDrive2, right where we left off. Just loaded back in. We're about to colonize a planet up here at Iladu. And we have, down here, we have an unexplored anomaly here. Now they did have what had showed up before, and they just happened to have been in the same place, I believe. But if you'll notice in the other playthrough, there was the question mark little box was over here near this edge. What that was I think that was the junkyard that those raiders came from, that came up here and tried to take on my space station and lost. Now, this could be all kinds of things here, but whenever you see it in the center of the hex, all you have to do is get into that hex and you'll get to find out what it is. Most all the time, it's going to be something good. When you see these, you want to go there. But I also still have this system over here I'm wanting to expose. So if I come down this way, basically I want to just touch this hex here, and I want to be able to bump into this one before I go back. What have we got? How much fuel are we? We're still more than half fuel, which is good, because when you're going back, if you run out of fuel, you lose control of your vehicle and it moves at half speed until you get back into your space being defined by the line covering by your racial color. This right here, now let's see, we've got our construction ship here. It completed the base structure. This right here is what it completed. This is basically a refueling spot. You can actually refuel ships here, but it has no capabilities beyond that, and it does extend. You'll notice it does make the hex mine, so therefore it does claim territory, but it's defenseless. Depending upon where it is, you can put a listening post here. That's going to give you increased range, sensor range, so you can see out further. Here's a science station. There's not a reason, whenever you build a science station, much like over here, now this, jumping back, this one allows you to build a mining station here, and that will give you your bonuses. There are different things, particularly black holes, but there are other things that you can build science stations and be able to get bonus research. Black holes, I think, are probably like your best research bonus. But let's go ahead and get to work on our star base, because it's going to take a while. It's going to be 16 turns. You know what? I'm going to hold back because we're about to colonize that planet. Right now, we're not that far away, but we actually have, we're colonized here. We have 2 planets here, our home planet and 1 colony, which is all that we have at this time. It is 1, 2, 3 hexes away. That's 16 turns. As soon as we colonize this planet, this number should decrease, and our maintenance for the station should be lower. I would normally go ahead and start this because it's going to, but just for the sake of our video, let's hold off and let's remember that 16. And you know what? The listening post is 10. Let's remember 10, 10, and 16. But now, do we have everything? We've got our research is going, automated rover bay. It's going to be, how far along are we? 39 turns away from finishing the research lab here. Let's see, we drop. Notice that whenever we put this here, both the pollution and the worker output goes up. So, but this is still, that's not bad pollution. That's not bad enough to be preventive here. I want to go ahead and get that. I would rather be getting the research station done than just having one of them researching. We have, from here, we have our research station here 24 turns away. We go from we get 3 points of research. If we come here, okay, our pollution is 2 and our output is 6. It goes from 3 to 8. That's a good, I mean, we're going to get, again, let's get that done. And let's go ahead and hit the turn button and get this going. Okay, demo, colonized our planet. Now, by the way, our, notice there is no farming, so there's no way for me to put them up here. There's not a lot for me to choose from here, so might as well go with that research station. Then I can pull back the put in the starbase. The population here is only 3. It's not that high. Now, by the way, let's go ahead and cover something quickly, just in case you weren't aware. But these are our troops down here. We can go to upgrade. They generally aren't equipped very well. What we can go ahead and do is change their loadout. Let's see. Why is it? Okay, there you go. That's right. What is that? That's from something altogether different. Right now, I'm just going to change all of their loadout to this. The different weapons here, by the way, the laser rifle is a longer range weapon, but notice the minimum range on it. When I mouse over it, the range is right in there. It's 4 to 6. Means anything in less than 4 from you, you can't shoot it. The knife is a range of 1, and heavy armor's there. Now the combat has changed in this game, so most combat takes place without you really seeing anything. It used to be far more complicated. Basically, they just simplified it. But there are still missions and so on that require you to carry out combat in more or less the old-fashioned way. But let's look at this now. Okay, it went from 16 to 14. These dropped from 10 to 8 and 16 to 14 because we're closer by. Let's go ahead and get that started. Again, it would have, I think I would have basically gotten the bonus once I did populate that planet. I didn't really benefit any from holding out, I don't believe. But I just wanted to do it just to display, just to check on it. And it looks like we found something else done. Okay, our fleet in Sector 5740 has discovered a cache of highly potent neural stimulants. If we distribute these stimulants throughout the Empire, we could benefit from +1 research per scientist for the next 25 turns. Okay, I don't get to control that in any way. That's just for the next 25 turns. We get an extra 1 research per scientist. But we have this crystalline field. All right, I'm not going to try to read the whole thing, but it's 10A. It slows you down to move through it. But if we build a mining station, we can extract 5 production and 2 billion credits per turn from these crystals, and we route these income through the nearest friendly colony. So again, we would have to build a station here. We would want to have a colony reasonably nearby. Well, here's something right next to it, but you got an ion field here in the way. Let's find out while we're right here, let's take a peek at what's over here first. Or you know what? I'm going to take a peek into here, because this is going to expose all of these hexes. We might get trapped down here for a while, because I would kind of like to get that. If there was a decent planet to colonize here, that would be nice. I kind of need to build another exploration ship, because that one's going to be tied up for a while. But we have all these systems up here. We don't know if there's another species there or not. But what are we in the middle of building right now? What on earth we got? These are things because it persists from one game to another, what ships you have here. So, well, this will be the first time you end up seeing this. Let's go into the fleet and ship manager. We'll go to the shipyard. That's one of the things about this game, by the way, we haven't even mentioned so far, is this game's ability to let you customize your ships here. Now, this is a Corvette class. This is a frigate class ship. These other ships, by the way, okay, this is just a ship that I designed before. It's built to maximum. If you'll notice this ship, you have power requirements. You have these other things. This ship is just for exploration, so it's jam-packed with fuel cells. This basic command module is here. This actually stops the ship from counting for too many points. You have a limited fleet size. You have only so much fleet you're able to command. So without these command modules and so on, your ships cost you more points, but it saves space on the ships. We'll be able to look at some of this more in depth at another time here. But let's see. So we'll just set that. And I'm kind of okay, so I set that, put that into, you create a list of ships you want to make. So out of your shipyard, and you'll be updating this as your technology increases. But I'm having to fumble my way through it. It's been a while since I played the game. But we have this interesting stuff going on down here. Want to see what's there. And so you never know when you're going to end up finding a planet or something that you just want to make a beeline for. But that's not one. This would be slow movement, but it would keep us from trying to go around it. We don't really have the fuel to go around this, and I don't want to go through this ion field because it's going to damage us. So was 2 away from our automated rover bay. All right, now this is going to be bad. So we got pirates. We have this would be a good planet to have, and especially considering it's right here next to this crystalline field. But we're going to have to put together a fleet in order to take this planet. Now notice haunted. Okay, this planet is plagued. I'm not going to be able to read the whole thing because of my window in the way. This planet is plagued by the lingering, disembodied consciousnesses of a race that once lived here. Minus 20% approval on this planet. Again, this is one we will actually be able to get some kind of Ghostbuster thing going on and be able to take care of that problem and fix the planet up that way. But that'll require research. I want to be able to get straight out of this hex, so I don't want to follow some path like this because I'll be creeping along the whole way until I'm out of this hex. So I kind of want to get straight out of here first, but we're low on fuel. We're probably going to run out before we get there. And one of my things is, considering where it is, I want to be over here somewhere so that whenever I do run out of fuel and my ship makes a beeline for one of my planets, I don't want that beeline taking me through a nebula that's going to delay me even worse. We have no way of controlling these, by the way, but this right here is our merchant ship. This is one of our transports. It's bringing the food up here to feed the people of this planet. Because, oh, and I almost forgot that diamondite. What does that do for? That's just hit points for our ships and more income. All right. Now, how about this? The research lab costs this much, but we need, look how fewer points it is to build the automated rover bay. This automated rover bay is going to increase our construction capability dramatically. We could probably build both of these quicker. We could absolutely build both of these quicker if I build this first. It'll go faster. Once I have the automated rover bay, I have more construction. The research lab will go quick. Everything will go quicker once that happens. Now let's see how close we are on our other planets. We might do the same thing there. Oh. Yep, I think we're pretty much going to be doing this all around. But this is where we're beginning to see the very first of a bit of a snowballing effect. And you know what? I want to go ahead. We're going to have our automated rover bay. This construction should go very rapidly once that's done. You can always manage this, and by the way, you always get to keep your progress on whatever you were building, so you can just move it around. Unless you cancel it, don't cancel your build. Keep it in the list if you're wanting to get to it at some point. But I'm only wanting, I don't like the idea of putting off my research points, but these are both, this is going to help build it quicker, and this is only 77. Anyway, I think that should make sense to most anyone. Oh, time to choose my research. Let's see. We have, soil enrichment. We're going to be able to make a lot of food. Not only do we have good food there, but here we have two different planets that we can use that have great food production. Both of them, 2 per worker for food is excellent. So, and it costs, whenever we build the soil enrichment on a planet, it doesn't cost any money. Every one of these we put out, it's an automatic 3 food per turn. That can be great in many situations, but it also costs to. So those planets that aren't putting out much, let's go with the soil enrichment. Or else, do we want the Imperial Bank? Well, that's going to be higher up on the list. That one takes more points. Plasma fuel, so that we have weapon systems to consider. I'm not going to try to explain what everything is, but let's go with soil enrichment, because if we start making a bunch of extra food as well, that'll also translate into some money. It's not, making extra food is not good money. There's other ways to make better money, but it's something. And it's a way of making money that does not create more pollution as well, which is not even an issue for us at this time, but it can become one later. Now notice it, by the way, and this is, you can't always count it, especially if you're going through a wormhole. But this is saying that when my ship arrives at this place, it should have 12% of its fuel capacity remaining, which is obviously not enough to get all the way back to our space. But it's going to be, we're not going to have too much of a problem here. We're going to be reasonably close to home when that happens. How many turns have we got to build that, like that rover bay? Here where we had 7 turns away from having our rover bay. That's gonna, on that planet, 13 there. Okay, let's hit turn. Let's get some game behind us here while we're... Just go to the home world. Notice it says 0. Basically, it's letting us know we're going to be running out of fuel before we get. Also, whenever it's doing this calculation, okay, there, I can get to there. It still has some fuel remaining, supposedly. But whenever you do a calculation, it doesn't do a good job of picking up. So if you say, if you do have enough fuel even to get across this line, where you won't be burning fuel anymore, where you're trying to go all the way back, it will frequently tell you if you would have run out of fuel on the way here if it had not been your space, it'll tell you 0%. It doesn't seem to take into account that you've crossed into friendly space. But it's going to give me a notification whenever my ship runs out of fuel. Four turns away from that. I'm worried because I want to get that other exploration ship, which is really not so necessary at this time, right? I'm going to take that out of the build order. I haven't wasted any time building it yet, but I'm going to have this exploration. This one, by the way, I got it labeled as Explorer 2. That has better range. I'm just going to use the exploration ship I've got right now. That one would be it would be a superior exploration ship, but I've got other things I'm needing to do at this time. All right, my construction ship is finished. My fleet has run out of fuel. So now it's going to slow boat it until it hits this line, and then it'll go back to regular speed and then go back and refuel. But at least just this short distance here, we're losing. I think it's going to take us twice as long to cover that distance it normally would, I believe. So that's nothing terrible. We'll be able to get up here and be able to refuel at our planet here, and that should give us pretty extensive range to be able to do a lot of exploring up here with a lot of interesting systems. I do want to have that other explorer at some point because I want to be able to cover this. There's just a lot to do. There's a lot to explore. But you know what we'll do? Wait a second. Let's finish the. We'll go ahead and get one, but I'll get it after the research lab. So we're using 3 of our 4 transports at this time. That's enough. We're going to want to build some more of those pretty soon. But let's see if we hover over it, which shows it. Okay, 1 is being used as trade transport. So I've only had that small trade agreement, so it's taking 2 freighters in order to carry out that. So keep that in mind. So in order to end up doing that deal, which trade treaties is earning us 4 per turn for that. So we're taking up 2 transports and earning 4 BC per turn from it. But if you do notice, I mean, this is a well-made game, and so that allows you to gain information from mousing over things. It's it is an interesting, fun and engaging game anyway. Right. All right, so we have built our automated rover bay. This has bumped up our, it drops us from, so our research lab this way would cost us 12. That way 10, that's 2. This saves us 2 on soil enrichment. right now, I guess we have that bonus. Let's just keep it like this. Like I said, and looking at the pollution jumping from 6 to 8, these are not numbers to be worried about. Your planet's able to absorb numbers like this pretty well. No, let's get it built because I want that other exploration ship. That's a lot of our fun we're having anyway. We're over 25 minutes, so I'm wanting to keep all of these videos under 30 minutes. I'm hoping that keeping them under 30 minutes makes them a bit more appealing. Yes, I'm trying to get views. If you're going through this and you're trying to make videos for people to listen to or watch and listen to, and you go through the upload and all of that stuff, and you're going through some work to do it. You're wanting this isn't money making or anything, but you're wanting to be able to share this with people. It's part of what makes it fun. If you were to keep doing this, like I have very few views right now. I've just started. I think I'm less than a week into this, into doing YouTube videos. But if I were to be doing this a month from now, and it still was like, and there was no one watching or commenting or engaging, I think that would be, I don't know how much I want to keep doing it. But even if people end up watching this, if people see this video, if somebody runs across this video a month from now or more and sees it, they want to leave a comment, hey, great, just let me know you watched. And again, questions, if I can be of help, I'll be happy to. Okay, got refueled there. And again, this is where the fun's going to really start, I think. Or a lot of the fun comes from, is this exploration. We really, if you notice how over time, because we have influence that spreads to these areas over time, it spreads out from your colonies and from your stations. So this is all connected now. I have this one jump here where I'll be burning fuel. That's going to be filled in at some point. If you'll notice how it's differently shaded, I think it shows up there, influence. Here it is. When this fills up, then this will turn green, and that'll be part of my territory. But like, there's no influence there. There is there, and so on. It's okay. We're gonna have soil enrichment done. Bam, there you go. What research do I want to get? I want to stick with one of these, easier to get. So basically, we have these two to choose from: the plasma fuel cells, the plasma cannons, the rail rifles. I worry a lot about my ground combat capability. I want to make sure I have it up. If you ever do want to take a planet, you've got to be able to win ground combat. You'll see what that looks like when we get to it if you're not already familiar with it. But it's basically, the game has been simplified. It used to be a hex game where you're moving around and trying to optimize your ranges and so on to target. And it was really a pain. And again, some of it works that way still. Opteris calculate, so we're all efficient. They want my soil enrichment. Well, what have you got for technology to trade? They've got the aeroponic farming. They don't want to do that deal. What if I give you some credits? Trying to get the exact amount, no more than I have to. 124, that's good enough. I'll pay them 124, and this way I get the aeroponic farming if I need it anywhere as well. Okay, but keeping it under 30 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day, good evening. Please do hit the like, if you will, subscribe, and please do absolutely leave a comment if you will. Goodbye now.